Do you want to learn how to draft a stud cornerback? Continue watching this video to find out how. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going over how to draft stud cornerbacks, preferably with SuperStar X Factor. If you find yourself liking this content and want to see more, just jump on down and hit that big red subscribe button below. With all that being said, let's jump into it. So to start off with scouting and drafting cornerbacks, the first week you can do this is in week 3. You typically start with 175 points, and it is always good to, if you have the XP, right now I don't have the XP, to upgrade your coach with the scouting package. That will bump him up to 200 points each week, and while that doesn't seem like much, it'll get you an extra player every week that you can scout. So jumping in here, we're going to go over to our lovely cornerback section, and the best way to conserve points is just hit the first one, keep going. If you see something that you don't like, and actually so far this looks like a pretty good class, but like C++, that is not a good place to start. So we'll probably just skip those guys for now. And as you can see, the lower we get, the lower the ceiling is, which makes sense. As you can see, when we get towards the bottom, I mean, starting off with D, that is not good. So just if you've never scouted before or don't quite understand what's going on here, so your first column is going to be your best trait. And as you go on, it'll be your second best trait, your third best trait. And that's the highest you're going to see. So going back towards the top, we had nobody higher than a B+. So we're just going to start and hit up a B+, another B+, that's good, and another B+. This guy looks amazing. Of course, you don't know how good he's going to be until you get the combine report, which will show you how fast he is, how agile, how strong he is, how well he jumps, etc. But just with the non-physical attributes, his skills, this guy looks amazing. He's a man-to-man corner with B+ man, B+ press, and B+ awareness. He looks like he's worthy of being the #1 cornerback in this class. Dropping down to this next B, he drops off pretty quick. Let's look again, B-. He's still a good corner, but not nearly as good as this top guy. And hey, B+ and B+, that's off to a good start. And B dropped off a little bit, but still pretty good. And another way to conserve points is you don't have to scout every cornerback. You can always scout the type of cornerback that you're looking for. So like this guy's a zone, this guy's man, zone, man. Is there any slot guys? There we go, there's a slot guy. So depending on what you're looking for, you could just focus on that and save your points, and that'll help you draft other players in other positions too. So we'll just scout these top guys and see how they look. B it's an okay ceiling. Another B, that's good. B-, that guy also looks decent. Oh, and he's a slot guy too. So your slot corners are going to be, well, more made for the slot. They're going to be better tacklers, more agile, more prone to being man guys. And of course with Erik Sloan here, he does have man as his second trait. And really, man-to-man and zone guys, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're going to be best at man or zone. After that, you're going to see different things in there like press, awareness, play rec, catching. Personally, my favorite 2 things to see is man and zone, kind of no matter what you're looking for, because that is just your pure talent at those things. And I think that is way more important than anything else in this. Of course, catching is really nice because that helps you create turnovers. Let's see this B- guy. He might not even be worth continuing. Yeah, he's probably going to red out. Yep, he redded out here. So these little diamonds over here, so far we've had green for everybody except for this one. And you can see why. He dropped off. I mean, B-, then C+, then C. He's just not worth the pick. As a matter of fact, it says that he's a second-round talent, but I think that's a little high. He must be incredibly athletic for that to actually be true. So we'll drop down here to the B- guy. B- again, he's holding up a little bit, and oh, it dropped off to C again. So while the 2 highest ones were higher than the last guy, he still dropped off. Everything after that is no higher than a C. So his floor is really low. Dropping down here to these second-round guys, B-, B-, and C. Just if they would stay up, see, this guy's not even worth it. If they would stay up, it might be worth it. And he drops again. And down here in the 4th round, this guy's a C+. Maybe he's really athletic. Let's give it a shot. Maybe he'll be C+ across the board. Nope, not worth it. Let's try again. Nope, come on. We need somebody to stay up. Okay, so that's the last of the C-. Let's try, I don't know, this C right here. F, nope. D, no, come on, give me give me something to stay up there. Wow, the bottom of this class is really bad. Maybe if we move up here, try some of these third rounders. No, they are just dropping off. At this point, I'm just wasting points. So I'm just going to skip it. Everyone down here is just absolutely not worth it. They're special team guys at best. And that's what you're going to see out of cornerbacks. It's extremely rare to find that value pick at the bottom of the draft, where you often see that with, say, offensive linemen, sometimes wide receivers, running backs, linebackers. With cornerbacks, if you don't take a high round pick, he's probably not going to be worth a damn. Here's a guy, 2 C pluses in a row. It's a first rounder though, probably not worth it. Yeah, see, even C pluses across the board, still not worth it. So at this point, I'm not going to waste our time anymore. It looks like there's really only 4 cornerbacks in this entire draft that are probably worth taking, because if they're a red diamond, they are guaranteed to have normal development, which is fine because you rarely see anything other than normal development outside of the first 2 rounds of the draft anyway. So if you're drafting later on and maybe you see this guy and he's still sitting there in the 4th round, he's probably worth taking if he at least fits your scheme. But otherwise I wouldn't bother. So now we're going to create our draft board. And to do that, as you can see down at the bottom, you just hit triangle, bam, adds him, bam, 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 gets you those little stars next to it. And then you just change your tab, go over to draft board. Here are your guys, and you can sort them just simply by holding and dragging and putting them in the order that you like. So just glancing over it, definitely like this guy as the number 2. And at this point, this is in order of how I like it. I just flip-flop those 2. And now that we're pretty much done scouting everybody, we're going to skip ahead to where you get the combine grade, and we'll see you there. Oh, but before that, I want to show you how to upgrade your coach. Now that I have enough points, you go down to My Coach, spend Coach XP, and right here in the first tab, bam, Expert Scouting, bumps you up, costs you 1,400 XP, and completely worth it. Now you get 200 points a week. All right, here we are. We have the combine grades, and I also went back in and scouted a few extra guys just in case, and I found a few that look kind of sorta okay. If you don't need anybody to be a starter but really just someone to fill out the roster, these guys should be fine for that. But really, if you want someone who can even progress into a starter, none of these guys are going to be good enough. So now that we have the combine grades, we're going to jump in. On the far right over here, it's going to give you the combine grade, but if you click on the player, and over here, you get all of their different stats. And as you can see, this guy is just an absolute monster. He's the fastest guy in the draft. He's the 3rd strongest. In fact, all of the numbers, he is either the 1st or the 3rd of all of them. He is athletically a monster. He easily has the best stats. This is really a once-in-a-generation kind of cornerback. You definitely want to take him. Dropping down to Jaylen Young here, he's a zone guy. He is not very fast. He's pretty strong, so he's almost going to be more of a safety kind of guy. He still has pretty good numbers outside of that, but he's not going to be very fast. If you need a perimeter guy to keep up with one of the fast guys in the league, he is not it. If you need someone to throw in your slot, this guy might actually work pretty good for you. I'm kind of curious. I bet you his 2nd highest trait is slot, but you just don't know. He looks like he could be decent. The next one down, Erik Sloan. He is a slot archetype. He's a little faster, certainly more athletic everywhere else than the last guy, and the stats aren't quite as good, so it's kind of a toss-up between these 2. But I would say, being Erik Sloan is a man guy and the last one is his own, which one you should choose between the 2 of them should be what you run more of. Christian Miles, he has a 7.2 overall grade, and he is 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in every statistic, the most important one being 3rd in speed. This guy is physically really gifted. He's only 22 years old. He's a man guy with okay man. He's got great press. I would say he's not going to be instantly a great corner for you, but after a couple years, he's still going to be pretty good. Personally, I like him a lot. I'm going to bump him up 1 spot. He's definitely kind of a project guy, but he has a really high ceiling. Darius Austin. Physically, he's pretty average other than his broad jump. The top skills, we already know, they're pretty mediocre. I mean, of course, he's behind everybody else. Let's see how he compares to Kamari Nails. And he is not even as athletic as the last guy. The stats aren't as good. We'll keep him in the same order. And dropping down here to Derek Perriman, he's projected to go in the 7th round. Although it says he's an early 5th round talent, he is very fast, and that is just about it. He can move, but he has absolutely no strength. I mean, 40th in his class, 8 reps. That is not very good. He's 23 years old. He's got good man, or at least for someone in the 7th round. He has D catching, D awareness. His ceiling is at best a 3rd corner, maybe even a 4th. But if you can get him down there in the 7th round or the 6th round, he might be worth taking for you. And Quincy Mcgee. Let's check this guy out. He's athletically better other than the speed in pretty much every way than the last guy, but man coverage is lower, press is the same, and F awareness. I probably wouldn't take this guy at all, but we might take him just to see how he compares to the other classes. He's there again, probably a special teamer. I would say his ceiling is maybe a 4th corner. So now that we've sorted everybody, let's skip ahead. I have one more thing to show you before the draft, and then we'll get to the draft. All right, before we start the draft, we are going over into league news, change it over to draft stories, and over here you can see stories about all the players, and this will give you an idea if they're going to have some kind of hidden development or not. Well, unfortunately, I don't think any of these stories are about our cornerbacks, but if we did see one, we would probably want to consider moving him up the board because it's more of a guarantee that he's going to have star, superstar, or even superstar X Factor for his development. And jumping into the draft, let's go in, make our selection, and see how awesome this guy is. They're projecting him to be the 3rd pick. I think he might be worth the 1st overall, and we're going to do it. 81 overall. He is ranked 1st in true talent. Of course, we took him with the 1st overall pick. He does have hidden development. 21 years old. It's interesting. It shows him being man-to-man for his archetype, but he's just as good in the slot. He's almost as good in zone. This guy is amazing. He will be a stud for a long time for your team. And we'll just skip to the next user pick. And hopefully some of our decent corners are there, although I would expect them all to be gone. And yeah, they're all gone. We'll take a look at Darius Austin. I wouldn't take him with the 1st pick in the 2nd round, but just to show you what he looks like, let's go. And yeah, it says we reached. Darius is ranked 63rd in true talent. We took him at 33. So yeah, if you take him at the bottom of the 2nd round, take him sometime in the 3rd, you'd be fine. He's a 67. That's not bad. That's actually a little better than I expected. So his 1st year, he's probably going to be your number 4 corner or something like that, but he should progress into a decent number 3 corner for you. And skipping ahead, and we're probably taking this way too early. This 4th rounder here, we're taking him in the 2nd round, and 64 overall. Yeah, there you go. He's pretty much exactly what we said. He's ranked 108th in true talent. We took him at 61. Of course, you would never want to take this guy at this point, but we knew that, and he looks like he could be eventually a useful slot corner, maybe towards the end of his rookie contract, but he's definitely a project guy. And now in the 3rd round, we absolutely would not want to take these guys, but we're doing it anyway. So this guy, I think he said he might turn into a 4. Yeah, he's a 62. He will take time. Towards the end of his contract, he might be okay enough to come in and be your 4th guy. But yeah, he's a project to even be a role player on the team. And with our last pick, we are taking our last player on the board. Of course, you never would want to take him, just like the last ones, but we'll take a look at him, see how bad he is. And yeah, 60 overall. He is pretty bad, but you wouldn't want to take him outside of the 6th or 7th round, and even at that, I don't think I would have wanted to take him anyway. So here in our draft recap, we have the stud we drafted in the 1st round. We knew he was going to be good, and boy, was he. Everyone after that, we took early. We knew it. This guy could be a role player eventually for you. Same with this one. Everyone after that, they're just roster filler. But I'm curious. This one shows to be hidden development. Let's see which development he has, and oh, that is disappointing. He has star development, so you don't start with Superstar or Superstar X Factor, but he is so talented, and with that star, you could easily progress him up to Superstar X Factor just by playing well with him. You'll get opportunities for challenges, and if he wins award like, say, Defensive Rookie of the Year, maybe you lead the league with interceptions with him, Defensive Player of the Week, those things can up your development traits. So even though, yeah, it's disappointing that he started with star, he's already such a monster. It's better than normal. He's still got great potential to be a Hall of Fame corner for you. Well, that's our tutorial on how to draft cornerbacks on Madden 20. I hope you found this information helpful, and if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you jumped on down, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit that big red subscribe button, turn on the bell, and give me a big old like on the video too. And until next time, this is Extinguisher 10 signing out. Have a great rest of your day.